Something, happy birthday, something. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Shout out something on your birthday. I wish you absolutely the best. Well, Odin the All-Father, happy unbirthday to you there, Odin, and welcome to Dad's Workshop. I might put something under this so that I don't tear. I mean, this workbench is kind of beat up already. I made it to be able to take a beating and not look pretty like the workbenches on the soft dudes that you see working wood on YouTube. They may be better woodworkers, but they're hella soft, way softer than me. So congratulations on being a nerd to them, not to you all. Welcome. Welcome, Axel Thompson. Welcome. Looks like my internet is starting to do that thing where it slows down, and I really hate that because it's usually when I'm doing very well in my stream. Let me go shut my AC off. That might have something to do with it. Give it a few minutes without the AC. Hopefully, you know, we have good quality. Oh, welcome everybody. It's a good Monday. Happy Monday to everybody. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, where I am using an Adze to take some of this bark, this oak stump table that I made. Axel Thompson, I'm not sure I understand exactly. You out. Hello, Axel Thompson. Welcome, Axel Thompson Workshop. Make sure you subscribe, click that like button. Everybody's a hero here. Everybody's my friend. We talk to everybody up in here. I don't ignore people. Axel, go ahead and re-ask me the question now you want me to answer so I can figure out what you want me to do. I'm cooperative and friendly. Some say I'm very friendly. I'm not going to remove all this bark. I'm not doing this for show. This bark is so deeply furrowed that when I apply wax or stain to it, it's going to have so much surface area, it's going to be impossible to cover it all. It's going to, and sometimes stuff lives in the bark. So I kind of go after it and see what I can scare out of there. If you watch my short today, I sharpened my adze. I grinded my adze off. I mean, really, I did. That's what the title of the video is. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Everybody who's here. Appreciate all of you. Working on this oak stump table right now that we kind of finished last week. Not a complicated project, something that almost everybody could do. So shout out to all the people who showed up right when we started here today.
make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Check out my other videos. If you're a person of means, make a contribution. Had a couple contributions that made me able to make that ads video today. So we're getting close to the super chats, but not quite at that level yet. So I have a GoFundMe. I have not started a Patreon because those take a tremendous amount of work, and I'm not going to commit to one unless I know that the work is gonna be worth it. So welcome to this new channel, Dad's Workshop. We've been out for just a few months now. I feel like we're crushing it. To live stream, can you? Can you live stream? That's the question, but it's, man, I don't understand, Axel. He said, to live stream, can you? That's the question. Can you live stream? If you're asking me how you live stream, you have to have 50 subscribers, and then you have to verify your account, and then you can live stream, if that's what you're asking me. I see your finger pointing up. I just don't see the question. Trust me, I'm very cooperative. Can you help me do that? Live stream. All right, man. Sure. In your YouTube app, you go to the little plus button. You click that plus button. It's going to come with a bunch of options. They're going to have short, a variety of short options. They're going to have live on there, which is what you want to do. You click the live. You tap the live. It's going to give you some options like, are you, is this content made for kids, etc. And you have to answer those questions, and then it gives you a little countdown. And my suggestion would be make sure you have a microphone because the internal mics don't do very well. Make sure you got some lighting also. So go to that plus button, if that's what you're asking me. The plus button. Click the plus button or touch the plus button on your phone, depending on what you're using, a PC or a phone. And then there's a live option on there. You tap that, and that's how you live stream. Pretty simple, right? Let me know if you're having trouble, if you have any more questions. I'm here to help. I recommend live streaming to almost anybody. Getting some of this furrowed bark off is going to allow me to spread a little bit less wax and also make the table just a little less, dirty. Because the table is going to want to drop material off on the floor. So, look like I lost my light there. Let me go check that out. Now, I don't use my Adze a lot. One of my least used tools, but this is a good application for it. Yeah, I like the color too. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate that. Ultimate friend of the show, Miss Heather B. Check out her cat content. The friend of the show, Miss Heather B. And Daniel and Ruiz and all them, they're late today. Unexcused tardies. Unexcused tardies going around. There's so much bark on this tree. I could probably do this all day and all night and still have bark left. So I'm not too worried about losing all my bark. The tree is it's been cured and aged, so it's probably not gonna, having a lot of bark on it is not important for its drying and curing process. So the bark is there for aesthetics at this point. We're just gonna clean it up, make it a little more shallow. Shallow up those furrows a little bit. And then we're gonna apply some wax to it. If we still have wax, I had to heat it up. If you want to see how I sharpen this tool, watch my earlier video from today. I made a short. But make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Join the family. We're a family here. We talk to everybody. Let me see what's in the chat right now. Oh, does it look different? No, it's the same workbench, Brian. Welcome, Brian. Friend of the show, Brian Alexander. Been a minute, but he is a definite Brian, friend of the show. Appreciate you being here, Brian. Nah, same workbench. It's beat up more. Because I've done a lot of stuff probably since you last been here. Like the bed, you know, like I built the entire bed. Big program, Brian Alexander. Welcome, welcome. I just want these furrows kind of flat so I can work this. I got a toothbrush type thing. I'm going to apply the wax with that. If you were here last week, I applied a lot of wax to the top and bottom, and I had to use a heat gun because it freezes. It's made with beeswax. Wants to freeze easily. Say freezely. I bet using one of these you get better, like using a chisel or something. I just don't use an Adze a lot. But if you want to see how I sharpened it, check out my short from earlier today. I definitely grinded my Adze off. I'm probably going to say that at least one more time before the live is over. Sorry. This is Dad's workshop, so Dad's humor is active, is in play. Dad jokes, dad humor, puns, all of that, all in play. I have been called a wood butcher before. There's a method to my madness, trust me. Yeah, I understand, Brian. No big deal. Yeah, man, the bed is like, I'm super proud of it, man. Super proud of it. So anybody who's in here, welcome all you who are in here for the first time. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Click that like button. Click the subscribe button. Make sure you drop a comment. Join the conversation. Join the Discord. Yeah, since that bed was a huge project, is a huge project. I'm not completely finished with it yet, but it is definitely a... big time. It was a big time project with a lot of challenges. No plans, no hardware, you know, just dimensions. We haven't gotten the mattresses yet. When we do that, we'll make a video out of that. Reassembling it and putting the mattresses on, most definitely. But yeah, I hope the family is well, Brian. You know, I hope everybody is healthy and this finds you well, man. I understand having family time. You know, I got 3 sons myself, so I understand. Definitely gives it a hand-hewed look when you use an Adze because it's going to leave lines and stuff, which I don't mind. I don't want to take all of it off. I just want to flatten it out a bit so it doesn't have so much surface area to cover with wax, you know. In a minute, I'm going to take my chisel and go around it. Go after it with a big chisel. I like it like here's a side that looks like it's about ready right here. It's flat enough. I'm not, just think of all the added surface area if bark is 1/4 inch higher and then 4 inches longer. You know, you add that, you do the math on that. That's a lot more wax. So I don't need all that bark. It's just going to crumble off on the floor essentially wherever the table is. So what I'm trying to do is just get down to to where the bark is there, but you know, not so furrowed. You know, furrow is when it's wrinkled. You got bark, 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 and then it's deep, like 1 inch deep inside of it. That's where we get cork from. Also, the bark of the cork oak tree in Spain is shaved off every year. They take this special tool, kind of like an adze, and they remove the bark from the bottom of the tree just enough that it won't kill the tree. And if you look at oak bark, it all kind of looks like cork. It just doesn't all have that soft consistency. Only cork oak does. Been a minute, Brian. Hope everything's good, man. See, a lot of this stuff, when it dries out and fluctuation of humidity, when it's inside of a house, this stuff wants to crumble off on your floor. So you want to get kind of all the excess off. Other thing I need to do with this adze is I need to make a cut through the top of this and install like a wedge in there, because there's some movement of the adze head that makes me a little uncomfortable. Kind of feels unsafe. Shout out to Daniel Gandara for his donation, which allowed me to make that video today and pick up this adze. Shout out to Chardonnay Boyce also friend of the program, made a donation that allowed us to do the tool here. Daniel's suggestion, Chardonnay, and Daniel's donations made for the ability to get this tool and use it on live. This is pretty flat here. It's not bad. What I would generally do is go around this with an angle grinder, right? Makes a huge mess. Throws bark dust everywhere, and it's not conducive to this live stream. But the adze is. So what I could do is go around and use hand tools to even it out even more, so that this is deeply furrowed right here. If I angle it, it takes more meat off. So I'm trying to not do that, but there are times where I can't seem to get it off, so I have to angle the adze. It hits it from the side, kind of knocks the piece off. This is a super easy project, guys. The only complex part of it is building the router sled or leveling or planing the stump out. This stump's been curing for about 2 years. You don't want to do it with green stump unless you've given it some, treated it. And I wouldn't even suggest doing that. You want whatever piece of wood you're going to use to sit out for at least like a year, depending on what region you're in. If you're in the northern United States, it probably has to sit longer. If you're in the South, it probably one summer is enough to cure your stump. Welcome everybody to Dad's Workshop. Right now we're working on a stump table with hairpin legs. Just a side project. We have been working on a bunk bed with traditional joinery. If you're interested in that, check out those videos. Check out my shorts, subscribe, like, join the Discord, drop a comment, join the conversation, join the family. You are all my family, all 50 of you. Welcome. Some of y'all are into metal tools. This tool I was able to pick up because of donations made to my GoFundMe by 2 people, Chardonnay Boyce and Daniel Gandara. Hey, Axel Thompson, welcome back. Welcome back. Looks like they have a chainsaw right here, so I'm going to kind of try to even that out a little bit. They being the people who cut this tree down. I didn't cut this tree down. Last stump I did, but this one was cut pretty flat and I saw it on the side of the road, so I thought that it was an opportunity to make an easy table. You figure it out, Axel? You got your 50 subscribers? Got to have 50 subscribers. That's one of their baseline things. I think you got to have more if you're under 21. There is an additional requirement for live streaming for younger people, and I think I understand why that is. So Axel, if you're, I just assume adult, but if you're a child, meaning under 18, you will probably have to have more subscribers to do your live stream. Yeah, it's a YouTube help clinic right here. YouTube Creators Clinic. What do we got? Oh, thank you so much, Miss Heather, my executive producer and live stream manager, director. I just kind of want this flat around because I just don't want to have all the surface area of all that furrowed bark to have to put wax into. It's just a lot extra wax that's not even going to be seen by anyone. Probably just sink into the side of the bark anyways. So we want bark, we just don't want as much as what's on here. So I've taken off quite a bit right now, a couple pounds of it probably. I don't know when you would want to stop, probably. I'm not too far from where I would stop and get the chisel out. I'm going to do that in a second. Go around with a mallet and a chisel. Get the biggest stuff off that I didn't get with the adze. That's what this tool is. That leg is shaking. It sounds like a phone ringing. Now, if you take the bark off of a tree while it is still curing or it is still green, the tree is it's more likely, especially this kind of a cut, it's going to split right in the middle, and you're going to have these radial splits around it because the water is going to evaporate out of it too fast. Leaving the bark on and concealing it in something while it dries will keep it from splitting. It's still going to split. Stump split, that's the way they do. But you can avoid big splits in multiple areas that will compromise the structural integrity of your stump cookie by making sure you leave the bark on during the entire curing process. Just a little point I wanted to make. Doesn't need to be perfect, doesn't need to be accurate. More of an art than a science here, definitely, with this. Very good entry-level woodworking project to build yourself a coffee table out of a stump. There's a couple gambles, though. One of the gambles is you got to find a stump cookie that is large enough to make a coffee table out of, and you got to either fashion your own legs. In this case, I took the easy route out and used hairpin legs. I like the way stump tables look on hairpin legs. I can make my own legs. I have no problem doing that. But in this case, I wanted to use hairpin legs because I like the way it looks. I sold a table like this that I originally made legs for. I took the legs off of it and put hairpin legs on it. Actually sold 3 or 4 of these. They sell really well. So if you're into woodworking, a little hot tip there. I don't sell much of my stuff anymore. I don't feel like you should have to monetize your hobbies. But I'm not against it if the money's right, you know. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, where we are cleaning up this stump table here. I've got my wax over on the stove. I'm gonna put some wax on here in a second with a toothbrush. We're getting down to where I want it to be with a minimal amount of bark on it. Not a lot of furrowing in there. Looking pretty good. Let's get a chisel. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button. I love you all. Appreciate you being here. We're having a great night tonight. We're going to go on this stump. Maybe I'll take my small mallet and a larger chisel, though. A wider chisel. This one seems good. And I'm just going to kind of touch this up where I feel like the bark is not, well, the bark is too thick. I want to be careful. I don't want to take it all off. I don't want a bare spot on here. So after the bark layer, you have this layer of wood called sapwood. There's a lot more sapwood on a juvenile tree or a new growth tree, and a lot less sapwood on an aged tree or an older growth tree. That's looking good. Loving it. Loving it. Drop a comment if you have a question. Drop a question. Love to see you all here. Glad to see so many people in this live tonight. Now, wood that has, I mean, definitely, I don't really buy chisels with bark in mind, but wood that has, that's a cookie shape like this, or it's a cut like this, is going to have an inconsistent grain direction. So it's a little trickier when you're chiseling. You kind of got to find, you can see this grain direction is going to go with the bark has a different behavior than the other wood. It's crumbly, it's brittle, right? But also the grain direction is different. I didn't think I would have to clamp this down, but I'm starting to think I might have to clamp this down. Welcome to Dad's workshop. Right now we're dressing this stump. That's a good way of describing it. Dressing it by getting rid of excess bark, not all bark, but excess bark, so that we can apply less wax to this stump and so it doesn't crumble and make a mess of the floor in its placement once it's placed in its forever home. Wherever it's going to sit and people are going to enjoy their drinks and coffee and so forth and talk about it and all that great stuff that you have with a unique piece of woodwork. You know, you can talk about where it comes from and what it's made of, how you made it, the struggles that you went through, the story of it. That's what it's all about. And my name is Calvin. This is Dad's Workshop. You can find me at Calvin Seaton. Instagram, I don't really promote my Instagram much, but you can find me on there. I got like not very many followers. But I'm doing great on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook if you're old like me. Shout out to Chardonnay Boyce. She's in the house. Drop a comment. And shout out to Daniel Gandar. Both of those two made donations that allowed me to get the Adze that I use to clean this bark up. So appreciate that. Those kind of donations, if you have the means, make a huge difference. This is a big piece of bark that's coming off. See, we got an insect in there, see? This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, because I don't want stuff living in there. Sorry, insects. I'll take that. That bark will be gone. That's going to be one piece that's not going to make it. If you were around when I first started, I said one of the reasons I remove bark is because insects live in it. And you don't want them to hatch inside your house either. I used to soak them for a long time because of that. So again, welcome to everybody to Dad's Workshop, where it's a combo of ASMR and woodworking, and we just chill. I'm going to close my mouth now. I'm only going to say little things. But right now we're working on this stump table made out of an oak stump. And I am trying to bring this bark down to a reasonably even level, so that I can apply wax to this thing. You see we had one little insect nest right here. Probably some kind of a worm. Maybe not a gall wasp. But true story, one time I went to get these oak gall, these little nests that this type of wasp builds on an oak tree, and they deform the wood and they form these things called oak galls. And I wanted to make a piece of furniture using these oak galls. So I brought the oak galls home and I didn't soak them. And the gall wasps hatched in my lumber storage area and ate holes in all of my lumber. Every piece of wood that I had gall wasps running all over it and eating holes through all of my wood. So I learned my lesson with that, you know. In case you don't know what a gall wasp is, they don't sting, but they're gross. You know, they burrow little holes in all your wood. So welcome to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You're making my night. Drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Click that like button. Give me up to 20 likes tonight. That's what I'm trying to do. We're gonna have merch soon. I'm gonna get some merch soon, but we're not at that level yet. We're still homegrown here, still starting out. So make sure the best way you can support us is by supporting us by subscribing and clicking the like button. That is the best way. Now, if you are a person of means and you're a friend of the show and you believe in what we do here, check out that GoFundMe link and make a contribution. Again, the ads that I use to clean the bark up on this was funded by donations to my GoFundMe by two people, Chardonnay Boyce and Daniel Gandar. So I want to shout out those two. Weird Daniel missed tonight of all nights, but he's probably busy. I think he may have said something about it. Chardonnay is kind of in and out whenever she feels like it. But boy, do I appreciate that. I'm not at super chat level yet, so I'm trying to get there. And I need that the commensurate number of, or the prerequisite number of subscribers and viewing hours, and then I can get super chat. But right now, I got to collect donations privately, and that means using GoFundMe or another crowdsource funding. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Everything I make is evergreen content. Go back, and if you're interested in woodwork and you just want to go to sleep, you just want to relax, watch somebody work on something, or just listen to the sounds of it, go check my other videos out. I got videos that are 2-3 hours long of me working on chests, things like that. It's informational and educational as well. So, evergreen content. It's not, we're not talking about pop culture issues that'll be dead and, gone and forgotten in a week. We're talking about real life crafting and skills that you can use. You can pick my brain, which I've done to others. I picked a lot of other woodworkers' brains before I started doing this. A lot of bark right here. I'm liking that, and it'll darken up a little bit as it ages, as it oxygenates. Now it's been exposed to the air, for the first time, so it looks like, interior wood, but that'll change. And when it gets waxed, it'll darken slightly too. So let's turn this thing and keep it up, keep it going. If you like what you see or you're interested in learning more, make sure you check out my other videos and click that like and subscribe button. This is actually something that a curved adze would work on well, like a barrel adze, Cooper's adze. It's got a curve shape, like almost like a scorp. They use them to curve out, hollow out canoes and stuff. This definitely, like this type of bark, I would probably approach with that maybe, rather than a straight adze from this for this application. So happy to see everybody here tonight. Please do click that like button, click the subscribe button, and drop a comment. What can I do better? I can do that as long as you're nice about it. Once I have 1 million subscribers, then I can curse at my subscribers. I can curse at people on my live, but I'm not doing that right now. I love all y'all. Appreciate everybody coming out here. Could be anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. So why is that? Must be something. Must be something. I like to think of myself as the Bob Ross of woodwork. I like to talk and do woodwork, chat, relax, make something nice, you know. Humans have been doing this kind of stuff for a very long time, guys. You know, we've got basically millions of years of woodwork experience. We had millions, we probably had hundreds of thousands of years of woodworking experience with stone tools before we invented metal tools. Now we've got, you know, tens of thousands of years of doing woodwork with metal tools. So we've been doing this kind of stuff a long time, fashioning wood into furniture, various pieces, using it as best we can to shape the world around us and give us more comfort. Somebody click that like button and give me a 14th like. I'm sweating here. Appreciate everybody in the house tonight. I might have to take one of my smaller chisels and get in that crevice. You can see they hit it with a chainsaw right here. My first couple of these tables, I cut the trees down myself, and then I had the stump cookie that I made, and then I took that because I needed 2 tables out of it, and I sliced that in half with a chainsaw. I did a lot with chainsaws when I first started. I even made boards out of trees with a regular chainsaw. Burned a whole chainsaw motor doing it. This is definitely a job to do with gloves on too. I know I don't have them on. I'm not going to leave my live stream to put them on at the moment. But yeah, when you hit your knuckles against this stuff, it doesn't feel good. Here's where we had that insect. I'm concerned there may be more of those, but it doesn't seem like a whole lot more, like a big problem. A lot of bark on the floor right now. A lot of bark on the floor. A lot of people in the live. Make sure you click that like button. Come on, push me up to 14 likes. It doesn't cost you anything. Costs you nothing. I'm just going to take a sip of water real quick before I continue. Let me check and see if my wax is still warm. It is not. Maybe enough in here to try to get a little bit on there. Combination of beeswax and boiled linseed oil here. Move these cords out of the way. This stuff freezes at a very high temperature. It was sitting in boiling water basically right there. And it's still almost solidified. And this is why, another reason why I might actually use my heat gun on this too to melt it down in there. So you can see why I would want to remove bark, because this is not gonna, it's not gonna want to, it's a lot of wax. Like, think of how solid this is to go. I'm gonna get a heat gun real quick and kind of melt it down a little bit. You see how that finishes it right nice right there. Appreciate everyone being here. Apparently people like it when I shave at things with a metal tool rather than when I finish them. That's good to know. When I go around the table and I take these chunks of wood off, I'm doing it so I can finish it here. And while I would love to just pander to the YouTube live viewership that I'm getting when I do this, right? I'm kind of done doing that. I can continue and pretend that I need to do it more, but in reality, what I need to do is put that wax on. So I love to keep this viewership. It looks great. The numbers are good for me tonight. If that's insane to some of you all, well, try YouTube live streaming. It's kind of difficult. And you can see how it does. It gives it a wax finish there. That's kind of what I need to do. So appreciate everyone being here. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Click that bell. Make sure that you're on. You know, you're kept abreast of all the developments of Dad's Workshop. This developing community of people who believe you should do only what you love to do. That's our community. Again, a combination of beeswax and boiled linseed oil. Much less surface area to cover there when I remove the big furrowed bark off of it, because, which is going to use less, it's going to use less material, it's going to use less stain. It's also going to drop less schmutz on your floor too, you know. You don't want schmutz on your floor around your table. You don't want your guests sit down, put their drink down on your table and bark fall off your table. Like it's not profesh, you know. You want to have the table set up, the table ready. All are welcome, you know. Don't worry, my table's not going to drop schmutz on you, your food or your foot. And that's why we went after this bark today. And now I can kind of run my fingers over it without, you know, getting rug burn, getting bark burn, basically. And when you stain something or wax it, you want to wax the entire piece, the entire workpiece, because it affects the hydrodynamic properties of the wood. In other words, the wood is always taking in and releasing water, especially when it's green. This is not green, it's been cured for a long time. But if you only treat one side, it's going to cut, bend, and twist much more often. See, this is all free now. It's a free show. See? Free show. Because y'all are getting free knowledge. I think it's ridiculous what I sold my last one of these for, because I don't know. Maybe I'm selling myself too short, but these tables like sell for a lot of money. People like these. Might be why there's so many people here today. Welcome to everybody. Appreciate you. Now I expect that. That's what I expect. Appreciate the likes from everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm gonna keep going here. You can see it looks good, man. Maybe a little bit more. Some of the wax kind of caught in those furrows. Let me even melt that right there. I want it to melt and emulsify. Is that the word? Basically, cover whole areas. I don't want it to be clumpy, you know. It's like a natural resin. This wax that I came up with, it's almost like epoxy resin without having to use chemicals. You know, you're using boiled linseed oil and beeswax, and it creates a really hard waterproof coating. It's really durable. So boiled linseed oil and beeswax, free show. There you go. Free knowledge. When I do this, whatever is in there is going to want to crawl out. So you all might see something come out here on this live. Looks good. Looks excellent. Loving it. Loving it. Loving it. Make sure you check out my video earlier today. I dropped a video about sharpening the adze. Shout out again to Chardonnay Boyson, Daniel Gandar for making the donations that made that video possible. Nothing is possible without you. I can't do this this channel. I can't continue to do these projects without the support from you. And the best way you can support me is by clicking that subscribe button and clicking the like button. And here's the crazy thing. It's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. Absolutely gratis. Ooh, it melts the little hairs on the toothbrush, so I gotta be careful. I don't want to be melting plastic in here. This stuff really, it freezes at a very high temperature, so it's already almost completely solidified. I'm gonna like rub some against the stump here, kind of into the furrows, while it's still soft enough for me to do this. And it's gonna drip some when I heat gun it, but I'm gonna try to get it on here well while it's still malleable. A little bit sloppy, but it's all right. We gotta get coverage here. Here's a spot where I didn't get the bark down very much. Also, this boiled linseed oil and beeswax, if there's anything living in there, it's not going to want to live under boiled linseed oil and beeswax. It's going to want to get out of there. And that's what we want. Get out of there. Get out of there. This is game is to be sold, not to be told tricks right here, guys. I don't think you're gonna find it. Maybe you find this on Reddit, but like I came up with this, so I don't. Somebody would have to be reading my mind. I mean, not the stump table, but the treatment is my invention. So this is free knowledge for you if you want to build one of these for a family member, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whatever the case may be. You know, that's what we do this for. Anybody can do it. Like Bob Ross always says, anybody can do it. I have terrible motor skills, you know. Like this guy said, my cutting skills sucked the other day. Of course, he was trash, so he didn't know what he was doing. Had 0 subscribers, but that doesn't mean anything, you know. It hurt my feelings a little bit, but at the same time, he was kind of right. Anybody could do this. I just put some effort into it. That's all. That's the only difference between me and the next guy. No IQ difference. No difference in skills. Just stick-to-itiveness, that's all. I like to finish a project I start. See that beautiful finish that you have? Brings out the figure, the bark. In a minute, I'll show you the table so you can see the figure on the table too. It's beautiful. I wish you had smell-o-vision. It smells like oak wood in the room. It smells like candles and oak wood. That's what it smells like. Yeah, that's looking terrific, if I do say so myself. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Rotate it. Probably after I finish, I'll go collect the bits of beeswax that I kind of dropped on the floor. I'm kind of just buttering it in now because it seems to be the best way to do this. Man, it's looking so good. So happy to have everybody here. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, join our community, join the Discord, drop a comment. If you're a person of means, leave a donation. We love those too. Don't expect them. The best possible thing you can do to support the channel is to subscribe. Click like and leave a comment. That really helps us in the algorithm. Helps YouTube find the videos that appeal to the people. So if you watch this for more than a couple minutes, maybe you don't even know that this is your cup of tea yet. I can tell you, like, I did woodwork as a kid, but I didn't know I was seriously into it until I was probably in my mid to late 20s, and I found this chunk of wood. I could have seen a million woodworkers before that, watched them for a half an hour and not realize like I'm actually into this stuff that I'm watching. Sometimes you have a moment or you realize, you have a moment of clarity and you realize something is for you, I have this instinct, something is living in there right there. It's not loving that heat gun. It can start on fire, so you got to be careful. It will ignite. I can see it starting to smoke. So yeah, I had that happen last week where little bits wanted to ignite on me, so I have to be careful. And also, if you're using linseed oil, there are some safety things you need to keep in mind. Boiled linseed oil, when combined with certain solvents, can have an exothermic reaction. Let me put that in plain English. Boiled linseed oil can combust, spontaneously combust sometimes, and it's never happened to me. Knock on wood. Good thing I got all this wood around to knock on. I should never get unlucky, right? But it can spontaneously combust for some reason. Don't ask me how. I'm not a physicist. I'm not a chemist either, so I couldn't tell you. I just know that it does happen occasionally. I missed a big spot right there. Heather, if you're still here, drop a link on my Facebook and tell them I'm working on Stump table. Oh, see, that happened yesterday. Not yesterday, last live stream. This wanted to catch on fire, so I gotta be careful here. Definitely there's a slight danger of combustion, especially when I'm going after linseed oil with a heat gun. Kind of compounding my danger there. Notice that I missed a little spot over here. But I got to be careful when I heat this, because this is that spot that wants to set on fire. It's like almost like a little wood wick there. And once this beeswax melts down and kind of emulsifies on the surface, it doesn't look clumpy anymore. It has a great finish. I mean, it has a beautiful finish. It preserves everything. Amazing, actually. Super happy with how it looks. It's just difficult to deal with. There's a lot of surface area right here in this area. Kind of reaches up a bit. I almost feel like I've invented a new finish for bark. Bark is hard to finish. This wax works really well because as it melts, it runs down the bark and then it solidifies before it gets to the bottom. It doesn't drip very much. Heavy beeswax mix, definitely. More beeswax than linseed oil. If I had access to a lot of tung oil for a lower price, I would use tung oil. But linseed oil is a bit cheaper. There's gonna be a big stump-shaped oil spot on my workbench after this. We're actually almost finished with this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my way around this. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. It was a good night. Smells like oak in here. It's so beautiful. Love that smell. Love the smell of oak and pine. I love the smell of walnut. And if you're with me on that, click that like button. Click that subscribe button. Should have put a poll up. What is your favorite smelling wood? But I don't have my, I think my producer has stepped out for a moment, so I can't have that poll up today. We'll do that poll tomorrow. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe button so you can have these notifications sent and you know when I'm on live. I can shout you out. You can probably see why I wanted the bark to be shorter now, right? My toothbrush wouldn't have gotten in there to get the oil and wax in there if it was as deep as it was when I started. Let's rotate it. Looking beautiful. I'm super, I don't just make that up. I'm not a fake person. We just got this spot to get right here, this last swath of wax to put on. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna put the biggest concentration up here at the top and let it drip down. That seems to be what's working the best. So really butter it in on this top part. Definitely want to get the spot where the insect was, get that really waxed so whatever else is in there is really encouraged to get out of there. Obviously, you can tell the top surface is not perfectly flat. That's something I'm going to work on a little bit too with these stumps, man. They always want to move, even when you've gotten them really planed well. And I used a router plane jig. If you want to see that, check out my video. I've got a video where I use the router jig to flatten the top of this stump. That's the most effective way to do it. You won't wear out your plane that way. You can see now it dripped down, which is what I needed to do. Warm and comfortable, and you don't want that to happen. You also want to coat the mess out of these stumps, so that whatever insects are in there are going to be encouraged to get out. Looks like I'm coming to about the end of the journey here for today. Appreciate everybody being here. I'm just gonna put a little wax here. I'm gonna wrap it up though, guys. Click that like button, click the subscribe button. Join this family of craftspeople where we all love this stuff, and so we just chat, we hang out, we talk about random stuff. On my Discord, we do sports picks too. So just make sure that you're clicking those buttons. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and supports this mission that we're on. And that's looking good. All right, I gotta get my chisel out of that. I shouldn't have used my chisel for that. Get this unplugged. Look at the chat. Yeah, guys, appreciate everybody being here. We had a great night tonight. This is Dad's workshop where I do the work, so you don't have to. You can relax. Of course, we're here to learn, and this is what this is all about. Today, we took an adze and chopped off bark off this table, the stump table. I'm gonna flip it once before we end the live, so you can see what it looks like standing up. Let me put this back on my double boiler. Turn my AC on because it's hot in here right now with that heat gun going. Shout out to all my new folks in here today. Have to look at my phone. There's a couple people in here today, brand new, who made it. And I got greasy hands right now. This can be tricky. Here we go. A couple spots I probably want to heat gun again, and then some stuff drip to the top after that stuff too. Oh man, that thing looks, I even like the uneven look from the side. I leveled it out. I looked today. It's level, man. The top is level. So however the legs came on and whatever it looks like, the top is level. And that's the key. It can look unlevel as long as it is level, right? And just to remind you, what we did was we took a boiled linseed oil beeswax mixture after we got the furrowed bark down, and we applied it to it. We buttered it in, and we used a heat gun to melt it down and let it come through that way. This is the bed, bunk bed project that I'm working on. If you check out some of my other videos, you're interested in building a bunk bed, you have kids, or you want a bunk bed in your house, check those out. I used no plans and no metal hardware, built it all with joinery. Super proud of that. Super happy to have everybody on the live tonight. Love you all. I hope to see you tomorrow, where I'll be back again at 5:30. Click that like button, click subscribe, drop a comment, join the Discord. This is Dad's Workshop, signing off.